For this month's painting, I've selected Woman with a Parasol, Madame Monet and Her Son, an oil-on-canvas painting by Claude Monet, the French painter who founded Impressionism. According to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Monet led the way to 20th century modernism by developing a unique style that strove to capture on canvas the very act of perceiving nature. The painting depicts two subjects: Madame Monet, Camille Dancier, Monet's first wife, and her son, Jean Monet, elder son of Madame and Claude Monet and brother of Michel Monet. In the lower right, Claude Monet has signed the painting Claude Monet 75. In 1875, Madame Claude and Jean Monet lived in Argenteuil, a commune in the northern suburbs of Paris. Woman with a Parasol, Madame Monet and Her Son has in French the alternative title La Promenade, meaning the stroll, though this tends not to be used due to the word promenade appearing in the title of other works by Claude Monet. This was painted en plein air, meaning it was painted outdoors as opposed to having only been sketched outdoors before being painted in a studio, and so was likely completed in a single session of just a few hours. The sky has been painted with such hasty brushstrokes that in certain places, especially the edges of the picture, Claude Monet has left exposed canvas. I only noticed this when researching the painting because the exposed canvas blends in with the cloudy sky. It's not generally considered unfinished because Claude Monet had left those areas of the canvas exposed intentionally. In April 1876, a year after this was painted, the second Impressionist exhibition was held at 11 Rue Le Pelletier, organised by the Anonymous Society of Painters, Sculptors, Engravers, etc. It was here that the painting was amongst 18 works by Claude Monet exhibited by Paul Durand-Ruel, a French art dealer associated with the Impressionists and the Barbizon school. The exhibition was attended by John Singer Sargent, an American artist known for his depictions of La Belle Époque and the Edwardian era. Sargent's biography, John Singer Sargent, The Early Portraits, Complete Paintings, Volume 1, by Richard Ormond and Elaine Kilmurray, calls him the leading portrait painter of his generation. In November 1876, Claude Monet sold the painting to his homeopath, Georges de Belliot. Claude Monet would often pay de Belliot with his paintings instead of money. According to Madame Monet's biography, Monet and his muse Camille Monet in The Artist's Life by Mary Matthews Geddo, this was a time when Claude Monet's cash shortage was especially severe. In 1886, Monet revisited the composition to paint The Woman with a Parasol. According to Critical Readings in Impressionism and Post-Impressionism, an anthology by Mary Tompkins Lewis, Claude Monet hadn't, by this time, done a figure in more than a decade. The Woman with a Parasol depicts Suzanne Ochaudet, the daughter of Ernest and Alice Ochaudet, wife of Theodore Ernest Butler and regular model for Claude Monet. After Ernest Ochaudet died, Claude Monet married Alice Ochaudet, and Suzanne Ochaudet became his stepdaughter. The Woman with a Parasol was painted in a meadow at Giverny, a commune in the northern French department of Eure. There are two versions of The Woman with a Parasol, one in which the woman is facing right, and another in which the woman is facing left. This version also exists as a sketch drawing. The two versions of The Woman with a Parasol are now on display in the Musée d'Orsay in Paris on the left bank of the Seine, the sketch drawing of the left-facing version having been donated by Michel Monet. In 1889, Sargent, having been inspired by Woman with a Parasol, Madame Monet and Her Son, painted his own reinterpretation of it, Two Girls with Parasols at Fladbury. On the 26th of January 1894, de Belliot died, and Woman with a Parasol, Madame Monet and Her Son was inherited by his daughter Victorine and her husband Ernest Donop de Monchy. They owned the painting until at least 1897. The painting was later acquired by Georges Ménier. In 1965, Ménier sold the painting to Paul Mellon, an American philanthropist and breeder of thoroughbred racehorses, and his wife, Rachel Lambert Mellon, an American horticulturalist, gardener, philanthropist, and art collector. Paul Mellon was the son of Andrew Mellon, an American banker, businessman, philanthropist, art collector, and politician who'd helped establish the United States National Gallery of Art, located on the National Mall of Washington, D.C. on Constitution Avenue Northwest. In 1983, Paul Mellon donated the painting to the gallery. This painting is one of the most recognizable and revered works of both Claude Monet and Impressionism. Geddo has written that it's of high quality and has a powerful impact. Archive, an online art gallery, has called it a masterpiece that triumphs wonderfully in conveying the sensation of a snapshot in time. The C. Monet Gallery has called it representative of Monet and Impressionism in many ways, and has said that when painting it, Monet was looking at the world and depicting it in a way that had not been done before. Mary Tompkins Lewis has called the painting haunting, deeply introspective, as well as his largest and most imposing. Indeed, the painting's dimensions are 100 by 81 centimeters, making it Claude Monet's largest work of the 1870s by surface area. When framed, the painting measures 119.4 by 99.7 centimeters. In the gallery, the painting's accession number is 1983-129.